Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. So let's take a look at the Solana chart here. We start with the daily view, just to remind new viewers of what's going on here. We have new viewers all the time, and we always want to remind ourselves of where we come from. Important to understand that my view is that last year into November 21, Solana formed a wave one, an impulse, and since then we have been correcting in a corrective wave, which is basically the impulse is the wave one, the correction is the wave two, which should be followed by a wave three to the upside next. Before we carry on, let's just establish some upside targets for Solana, and we can just make a rough estimation here based on the previous low. And my upside targets would be in the region, we're talking here about really next all-time high targets. I mean, we're quite far away from that, don't get me wrong. I don't want to create any hopium here, but I want to make sure that you understand what sort of is possible based on the Elliott wave analysis in this chart, with the price of this chart. If we get to a new all-time high, then we're looking at least $450, the 1.618 extension, possibly all the way up to $550. Why is that the case? That is the case because if we really created a first impulse here, then a correction wave 2 here, the next wave up would be a wave 3. You would expect it to go to at least the 1.618 extension, maybe even higher. Altcoins regularly do outperform this. Then there will be a wave 4 to the downside that needs to hold above the wave 1 high. And then there will be a wave 5 to the upside. That wave 5 can push ideally to the 2.618 FIB extension. It also depends a little bit on how high did actually the wave 3 go. So that's the higher level viewpoint here. In this wave 2 to the downside, we came in a WXY pattern. At least that is my current view, WXY. And we are now in the Y wave. And let's, I would say, zoom in. And let's take a look at where we are on the hourly chart. Hourly chart still doesn't really give us a lot of new clues. Still, chart appears to be frozen. We've been in this current price range for weeks. I made an update yesterday. There isn't too much news here, not too many news. The bullish view is still that this here from the low at around $26 was a leading diagonal that peaked at around $48. We came down in the wave 2 and we're now in the wave 3. However, until we see evidence for that, that is just speculation. We have pulled back to key support around $30 to $30.50. That was key support. As long as we're holding that, there is still bullish potential in this chart, but it also needs to play out. Until we see it play out, it is really uncertain, which means we want to see a break above this wave 1 high at $35, and then to get even more confirmation above the higher level wave 1 high at $39. Then I think we can reach the $46, $47 level, this resistance range up here. And really then, and that is sort of from the bigger picture here, only if we really break above that level, which is this wave 1, then we can be more certain that we actually are in a bullish scenario. Basically, each of these levels gives us more confirmation and more assurance that we are in a bullish pattern. However, the bearish pattern is also very, very possible, very viable. So coming down in a wave 1 here, this was then the wave 2 pullback, and we're coming down in a wave 3 next. However, the move down is not very impulsive. Therefore, we need price confirmation below $30, basically below the wave 2 low here, to get more clarity. So in summary, my view is, if we get above $39, I think that is reasonable to expect. If we get above $39, it would invalidate the imminent bearish count, and the bulls are in control here. If we break below $30, the bears will be in control, and the blue count is going to play out with high likelihood, where we could come down to $20 and below. At the moment we are in the range here, and we just need to see now what the market decides. Of course, there is upside potential, but it's not high probability yet. It's basically quite a balanced view here that we have on this chart, where the market itself doesn't really know what way to go, and this is reflected by the patterns that we see here on the lower time frame. You can see that we are forming here in the lower time frame a triangle in this sort of wave B. We can understand it as a wave B at the moment, A, B, C, where we come down short term a little bit lower. Let's say if this is the bullish count, 1, 2, 3, then in the wave 3 we've got a 1, 2 setup, and in the wave 2 we have a triangle count here, A, B, C, and the wave B is the triangle consisting of A, B, C, D, E, this so far has played out nicely as a symmetrical triangle, which would eventually be expected to break out to the downside, because you would normally expect it to break out to the opposite side of the wave E. And a key target for that would be the $31.17 level. Okay, and then we would, however, bottom out here in wave 2 and move higher in wave 3. So if it plays out like that, we can be quite certain that we are in the bullish count. So that is sort of the sort of lower level wave count, where we basically, I think, hit the target for wave D quite well. We calculated that by taking the length of the wave B, and you can see we reached perfectly the 61.8 fib extension of that. And now we can use the same method to calculate the wave E target. Here we take the length of the wave C and do the same thing. And here an ideal target for the wave E would be around $34, $34.12. We don't need to get there, but it would be good for more clarity here. It would be close to that resistance level, and then we could break down in the next step, which means short term, a bit of upside potential before we come down. But again, this is very, very short term minor wave, or lower level micro counting, and these can often get invalidated. So we really need to see what the price delivers now, which levels get broken, to get a bit more assurance here about which pattern is going to play out. Okay, and that's my update about Solana. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.